Hey, welcome. Just one time I wish game capture would actually work the first time I tab into a scene. Hey, there we go. We made it eventually. Oh no, it crashed. Fuck!
Do we mark that off as technical difficulties?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I actually don't know whether I'm still broadcasting. The OBS UI is definitely screwed up.
You are
just
still
check it on
live.
Twitch?
You are still live. I can
Okay.
in stream.
Never mind then.
In stream.
Yeah, I think
Fine.
everyone can still hear you. The screen
Okay,
is just
so
frozen.
the OBS UI is completely frozen, but if I open my stream in a new tab and like tab back in and try to move around a little bit, oh my god, I actually am still broadcasting. What
Yep,
the
and
fuck is the...
It fixed itself too, by the way.
My OBS is like hard crashed. I can't see if I hit a scene change button, does it work?
Did you hit a button?
I did. Is it
Right,
dead?
that's technical difficulty.
Like it's still recording.
Okay,
Game.
so scene changes don't work, but just once I want to have a normal stream. All I want for Christmas.
Mark your card
With
change.
the jartcast crew? No way!
God, die immediately. Okay,
Cruise
well,
them down on Main Street.
as long as this is technically broadcasting, I can't fucking see chat, but the show must go on, right? Hi, welcome to the filler episode. I want to die. So,
Doing our best.
first up on the fucking docket is a submission from Vinny Vince, looking for feedback, specifically asking, is this any better than the deep tunnel zone before it? And noting, there are no boss waypoints. I learned those existed around the time of jartcast episode 3 and haven't worked on this map since. In other words, do not do net games on this map. Legit. Agonizing tunnel. Okay.
Oh, this is map
I can't see
power.
who you are, by the way.
Deeper.
Okay. Agonizer's
a returning
return.
map?
Legit.
Uses crim-
Yeah, no, we've definitely played something with this sort of structure and
Yeah, this is
texturing
looking
before.
I
Yes.
don't know if you noticed, but it says it was a map power.
Yeah.
Which side? Which side?
What the
Check
fuck?
to see if that's off-road. Because we
If-
had some problems. Okay, that's off-road. Keep
All
that in
right.
mind.
Have you played on this map before, Trail?
It's an old map.
We've seen it before. I feel like it was way back in Jartcast. And I
We had a
noticed
problem.
the false shortcut appears to be gone. Oh, hello, Jesus.
Whoa, whoa,
Hi there.
Whoa, those
Missing
drop
texture.
down a little bit.
Okay, that was my fault though.
Lose control. Very
Okay, wait, where are we now? Okay.
You made it.
Alright.
Goodbye.
Wow, all the way back here, huh?
Really- I think it might just be because of the texture, but this map seems really hard to read, like sight read.
I mean, what is this exactly intended to convey?
Wait a minute, is that supposed to be a mace?
Draw my eye with this red texture, only to kind of sneak the road around it.
Yeah,
There's just a ball there.
that's a balloon, isn't it?
Balloon.
Is it the corner balloon relocated?
Oh no. Is that off-road?
Yeah, so complete... Yeah, this is the same patch of off-road. Ugh, so...
Oh,
Gigantic, flat straightaway with a bunch of cycle hazards placed on it is... Also, I'm not sure why you can do that. That just seems a little mean-spirited.
Yeah.
do not die.
You get knocked off there and you want to curse everyone out.
That's
off-road?
that's a pretty significant loss. Yeah, it's... There's a lot of shit fighting for my attention here, and none of it is actually explaining to me where this turn is going. Like, as you approach here, you have no idea whether this is a slope, whether it's a drop, which direction it is, because the wall textures are all the same. We've got, like, flashing pink on black, we got flashing whatever the fuck that is, we got red on black stripes, and yet nothing drawing our attention or, like, giving any kind of clue to the fucking depth of the walls here. You've just kind of got to know.
Then there's that weird drop-off from that same kind of, you know...
It's not a
spiral.
complete slope, so you just keep
Yeah.
up and down.
Alright,
Which
some
if you
weird
don't
tight
know that
turns
climbing-
here.
Whoa!
It's the start of a layout here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, as
Okay,
the
balloon.
basics, it's something...
Is that a balloon?
Yeah, I literally said it's a balloon. Yep.
The corner
Why is
balloon
that-
has found new life and purpose as a way to transition to the upper path. Wait, does this go somewhere?
It goes there.
Okay, so we gotta talk about a fucking problem with this game and its texture mapping, okay? We'll use the thoughtfully placed balloon to transition up here. I have no idea where that wall actually is. Like, the effect is really fucking eerie here, where you have no frame of reference for how far away anything actually is. You just have a texture that's so far off that you can't even take a guess at, like... The most you've got here is, oh, well, I can use the size of the texture relative to, like, what's on the wall next to me to try and guess how far away it is, except it all kind of blurs into one color, and that's not really reliable. Establishing some kind of, like, scenery objects and using them for scale here can help people interpret distance like this, but as it is right now, you're kind of staring into a gray void until you have some kind of other reference, the floor texture in particular. Is this stream still up? God, streaming to a crashed OBS window is fucking distracting.
It is
Stream is
still
still
up.
up.
It's still up,
Yes.
but also I realized the Discord overlay's not there.
Of course it's not. Oh well,
Nobody-
technology gremlins.
When you were setting that up, you made a new scene for that, right?
Yes.
Weird.
It's not in a new
sure.
scene collection, but it probably should be, considering there are about 600 scrolling filters with real-time blur.
Yeah, okay, that would probably be it.
It told me the GPU usage was 0.4%. It shouldn't be fucking crashing the entire program's UI. It should just be running slowly.
Right.
So, this
You
is
could learn to learn that
mean-spirited.
ahead of time.
I shouldn't need to explain why that is. It's just way, way too easy to fall off here. But more than that, this entire section is basically drive straight unless randomness prevents you from driving straight. And this little cut-in of off-road being sort of invisible until you get too close is just another quirk of flat terrain, I guess. It's not obvious how far this extends or even where it is until you get close enough that you actually have a clear frame of reference. And so I can see a lot of people driving directly into this, having to awkwardly limp out, and then contending with the cycle hazards at low speed with deep sadness. That pit also seems super awkwardly placed if you want anyone to do anything interesting cornering out of this. Like, I'm trying to think of a way I can mini-turbo out of this situation that isn't incredibly awkward. And that's, like, the best I've got. From what I can remember the last time we saw this, it is a pretty substantial improvement in places, but a lot of blind turns. What the?
Wow!
That just seems unnecessary. That's not even
even
appropriately
know that was
marked
a
as a
wall.
hazard. Yeah, because here it's flush, but here it isn't. It seems to me like there's actually, like... And if you look at the, if you spin around and take a look at this from the other side, it seems clear that it might actually just be like a geometry error or some kind of finesse failure. Hey, they are step up, though. Sometimes. Not that you'd ever be going at that from that direction anyway.
See you.
So I think short-term focus for this is probably deciding on some, like, actual scenery objects existing in the level so that you have some kind of clear frame of reference for how far away anything is. What is the fucking name of Ivo's Jackass Mirage Saloon Figure 8 map?
Canyon Cascade.
Canyon Cascade does a fantastic example of using consistent scenery elements to give people clues for scale and distance. I'd look at that and kind of study the way it handles that, because it is just, to me, it's the most clear-cut example I can think of on short notice. Also, be very careful, I think, with where you use visual cues like the big-ass sword and black stripes or this flashing text, these flashing chevrons, or whatever this fucking thing is. What is this?
Still the old egg rock texture.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these are just, like, egg rock textures. Not necessarily, like... I don't know if that's necessarily supposed to convey, like, a different type of wall than the others. Because, like, that to me should read like a hazard. Like, the fact that it's flashing and stuff.
Also, this is just a missing texture, right? Like, is that deliberately placed, or is that, like...
I'm not
If
seeing
the
whatever it is you're
texture's
seeing.
missing, it should be red wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or nothing.
Okay, yeah, because, like... Basically, the use of textures in this space doesn't feel like it consistently conveys anything intentionally to me. I don't know how I feel with the wall bonk on that launch either, but that's kind of for you to decide. It's... I don't see a consistent visual theme outside of these are the textures I've chosen to use, and they're also not conveying a lot of useful gameplay information outside of, like, alright, so we're going to use red and black stripes to denote a hazardous pit at a glance. Sure, that's good. Except we're also using them for a, like, non-hazardous wall, and then also as decoration on the ceiling for some reason.
There's something I'd like to point out to the right, like to the immediate right there. That is kind of an issue turn signal. Because that is not only a warm color with black accents, but it's on a background that is also a warm color with black accents. And that's not necessarily going to catch somebody's eye if they're not looking super closely at it.
You can also think about the angle by which you actually approach this, and realize that it only starts reading as a signal when you've already committed to the line that gets you through the turn.
Well, yeah, because it's only marked on the inside of the turn instead of on the outside where you can see it from a distance.
And the outside, I mean, like, to some amount of credit, the gigantic fucking red-black wall does draw the eye compared to, like, nothing to see here. Oh shit, there's a whole bunch of stuff over here. So you can kind of intuit it that way, but there could definitely be some smoother signposting further out. Honestly, this entire turn is pretty awkward to begin with.
Yeah, that's not cash money.
It's... The flames here don't feel like they're providing a particularly well thought through challenge. It's just like...
No. It's literally...
This is a series of big-ass hallways connected together that had hazards put on them as an afterthought because the layout wasn't interesting enough otherwise. Which is like, it's absolutely valid to use like low difficulty course design coupled with like well thought out and appropriately signposted hazards. But stuff like this, where this is literally like drive straight and don't get bumped by other players. Don't deal with a mine placed at this exact location.
There's one more I gotta mark. There we go.
I'd more prefer that hazards like that were spread all over the place at random locations there, rather than being grouped to where there's like always going to be one line that's better than every other path you could possibly take.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure. At least two ways through in situations like those helps mitigate the impact of trap items enormously. Plus, it gives players, like, something to do when evaluating their route through. Depending on stat block or their items going in or the location of other players, they have a decision to make that can feel rewarding and impactful when they get it right.
Yeah, a good example would be like the spike paths in Misty Maze, or even like the sand bits of off-road in Sand Valley.
Yeah, or particularly because of how rigid that section is, it's split into two to make sure that there's not undue item chaos, and that a single trap item isn't guaranteeing a hit. Plus, you can kind of just beef it through the spikes in that section anyway.
No, I'm not.
Did item box scattering ever get mentioned? I don't think so. It is typically considered good practice to, I mean, just looking at this gigantic, unblemished line of items makes me kind of want to tape my item button down and try to double dip from the set, even though it's not particularly practical. But in general, staggering your item box positions a little bit is considered good practice because it gives you the opportunity to, it gives players the opportunity to make use of egg boxes.
Yes.
If the items are in a super uniform set, then a player has to place them exactly in that set for an egg box to be a plausible, like, kind of a plausible trap that involves, like, you not paying attention. Whereas if this row were a little bit more disorganized, like if it were spread out, and again, I guess the Misty Maze final 2 turns, the set right before those, is a good example of, like, what could be here instead of this uniform line. Because nobody remembers the exact position of a whole bunch of randomized egg boxes, or item boxes, and so an egg box can sneak in there and gives players a reason to have some kind of consideration when navigating the section.
I'm seeing someone in the chat mention that staggering item boxes is good because it prevents people from missing them in case someone is taking an item right in front of you. And in some ways, you're not really supposed to have item sets that are completely unmissable. You know, like, you kind of have to put some thought into the line you're taking as to whether or not you're going to get an item. And even in some vanilla maps, there are course layouts where certain parts of the item set are intentionally spread out more than others, just to kind of make sure people stay on their toes.
I'm doing what I can on volume, by the way. OBS is still crashed.
a lot of people just kind of expect to be handed an item set regardless of their line when they make it to when they make it to the set. So it's a bit of a shock when they don't have one, but at the same time, like, if you're just gonna get it every time, then
it depends on the vibe of the course and, like, the type of player interactions you're looking to create, for instance. I think, like, a technical layout, something like Crimson Core, absolutely has a reason to have missable sets, just because so much of the focus is on the mechanics of cornering there, rather than, like, the particulars of item play. And so, like, giving players something to worry about, okay, I have to make sure that I don't ape someone's line if they're right in front of me so I can actually hit my set. That's a consideration that goes well thematically with, like, the way you're approaching the rest of the layout. How are you even supposed to get to this high path without, like... You use the balloon, but why is it reachable from anywhere else?
Yeah, it seems like a very... I suppose, not only the fact that it's, like, got such a narrow radius, like, you know, the MOBJ itself, like, I'd imagine that's difficult to hit in actual standard play. You need a lot of those in order to actually make that cut reliably.
Somebody is breathing into their microphone, or is a fan on? Porter, I think that's you. Sam, man.
I told you.
I couldn't even hear that, so might have been me.
Well, you see, my finely tuned bat ears can allow me to get mad at anyone in a voice call.
I heard that too, but I don't get mad.
So doesn't know how to get mad. I wipe us in fucking E8 because I didn't cleanse the healer for absolutely no reason, and he's like, oh well, things happen.
Life goes on. Just number 250.
Yeah. Oof. So yeah, I think... What else? Let me actually reset to the start and really think about this from my turn-by-turn perspective.
Someone asks, is there any FOFs in this course?
Fauf.
FOF. Floor over floors.
Sauce.
I honestly don't know.
I don't think I saw
It doesn't look like it,
I don't
for sure.
think I've seen any.
Okay, my friend, and you don't necessarily need them to make a decent course.
Also, back to what you mentioned earlier with the egg rock walls. The big reason those are interpreted as a hazard is because in their original game, they are hazards.
No, that is my exact reason.
Yeah, as somebody who doesn't have that experience, I haven't played through vanilla in any reasonable sense. I didn't interpret it that way at all, so that's almost certainly what it is. Uh-oh, damage floor deals damage. Anyway, let's take a look at something really quickly here. So I'm going to take this turn. I mini turbo. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000, 5, 1000, 6, 1000, okay, basically just driving straight for 7 seconds. The point being made there is that you kind of have to give people something to do here, and 3 seconds of dead air followed by one, like, spinny flame thing, what is this object type called? Followed by another 3 seconds of dead air is not really sufficient.
Those are the red volcano zone flamethrowers.
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of had a problem with them in vanilla in the sense that they're kind of too easy of a hazard to me, and I haven't even seen you get hit by one of them since you started.
Well, you're given plenty of time to adjust. You have about 1 billion years to acclimate to the cycle, which I think is a good thing. But
yeah,
the way
I
these are
think the
placed
cycle
means
is
that
relatively
a good amount of the time they're actually, like, pretty non-lethal. Like, think about the one closest to me here. 50% of the cycle basically has this thing on off-road where you don't want to be anyway. And even the off-road that's here is not really a substantial cut. Like, I'd much rather use a sneaker to, like, slip tide around here or something. Or, like, maybe take this aggressively.
For them to be a remote threat, I think they need to be grouped together closer, like what Boiling Bedrock does. Or at least not all use the same angle.
It's super...
The way I'm looking at it here is they're going at the same time.
It's super weird to me that you have all of these, flame bar things, and you have some clear intent to split the path into two in both halves of this gigantic hallway, and yet you never have one of these placed so that it's in the middle of these paths, so like it's hitting one path half the time and the other path the other half of the time. That would at least be kind of an interesting evaluation where you have to, like, decide ahead of time which path is likely to be safer based on where the cycle's at and adjust accordingly. That's, like, something that actually makes you think. Which is, like, you should have to make a decision when any kind of cycle hazard is involved. Right now, like, this layout in particular is totally just wing it and you'll be fine.
I'll get hit.
It's like, not only does a reasonably decent path basically take you completely around the threat range of all of them, but so many of them are non-lethal for so much of their cycle that they're kind of irrelevant.
That's a really short turn, and it's obscured by a wolf.
Yeah, I'm not... This kind of felt like I just need a way to connect things back again, because we have this starting.
That's the start.
Yes.
Oh.
And I think this is completely reasonable. You're given basically nothing but sight on the forward path. You have clear signaling. This is not like the Joker Cup Super Indy Cartport stuff. There's no way you're gonna get there by accident.
Thing. Like for Mario Kart 64, this is just straight up what this turnpike does. Like at the start.
Yeah.
I have no. I still. So, going turn by turn, I guess. Since we had a pretty light workload tonight, so we can afford to be very in-depth, which I appreciate.
Comfy.
First turn here is, like, visually confusing, but I guess a fine way to connect the course here. Except that when taken at speed, you're basically gonna wall slam here every time, so it doesn't... And even when, like, not taken at any reasonable speed, you're still miles away from the upper path here, so maybe move the path split or reduce the strength of the springs, so that people actually have an opportunity to use the split. Even then, what's going on in the split here isn't particularly interesting. There's no real benefit in taking one path over another because they merge before they do anything interesting at basically the same time.
Wouldn't the tighter corners on the top be faster?
Yeah.
It's... You get the inside corner here, but then you get the inside corner at the top over there. So I think it comes out roughly even in, like, a casual estimation. It's at least not one of those things to me where it's super obvious where the optimal path is. It's just that you don't really have the opportunity to get on one path unless you, like, yeet yourself into the balloon, which is a neat gimmick. And I think, like, because the second turn is specifically faster on the upper path, maybe something that people will try to do if they can get the angle for it, but it seems a little awkwardly placed.
It's kind of up in the air because the turns aren't very tight, so you won't lose that much speed.
Wolf's moved very far away from his microphone.
It literally moved a centimeter down.
Anyway, you were saying?
I was saying, it's kind of up in the air because the turns up there aren't very tight, so you're not really going to be losing much speed from them altogether, and you're gonna get it back as soon as you charge your mini turbo.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
This could be made into an easy hard path designation as well, especially like I can imagine if the path split is like pulled up to around here, where like the way the fucking track bends out here, maybe like a ramp up to the higher path. Just anything where the location the springs yeet you to is literally committed to one path already. So, couple kind of non-committal turns. I don't really understand the design language here, using this texture for basically no reason other than to like distract me and draw my eye for a bit before I figure out where the actual path forward is. Because remember, this is kind of similar to road color. The lizard brain reaction is gonna happen, even if for just a moment.
I saw something interesting that could be possible with that balloon. Ah, shit.
No.
So we
Don't worry
have
about it.
this turn where you're kind of being introduced to the existence of the flamethrowers, except that the optimal line through this turn basically involves not intersecting with any of them until the very end. Which, I mean, seems like a reasonable enough way of, like, placing these hazards basically out of direct line so that you're introduced to the idea, hey, these exist, watch out for them. That's a good idea. I lambast people a lot for not properly introducing new track elements before they become dangerous. With that said, the next one being right here is kinda sus. At the exit of a turn after an item set with not a lot of time to get sight on it. I think that would be a way better move to somewhere like up here. So you have to take it into account when deciding which split path to use. So the split paths don't really have anything going on at all. I guess in the current version it kind of feels like an acceptable break in tension from the heart attack that this thing gives you. But I still feel like, I mean, the quick fix that I see everyone use is some horrible out-of-the-way dash panel at, like, the far edges to give people something to go for and, like, evaluate whether they feel secure enough. I'm not a huge fan of that, but really anything to make that section more interesting would probably be worth. And then, looking at this section, the placement of the item set and the placement of the spiral hazards and the fucking placement of the pit, it doesn't really feel like there was any thought given to what line a player is supposed to take through this. Like, it feels like an awkward connection between like a couple blue mini turbos no matter what angle you approach this from. Kinda wacky. Signaling this turn on the inside of the turn instead of on the outside wall is a little sus. Something relatively reasonable up here. You're given some kind of design cue to turn, but you don't really see these U-turn signs until you've already committed. Same for these chevrons that are actually completely invisible to you as you ascend.
Even just raising up that mid texture might be a little helpful. I see people do that a lot.
For sure. Awkward off-road here. How much time do you have to think about this when you're running into it? So, like, if I'm here at blue mini turbo speed, not so bad. I'd still raise it a little bit for visibility's sake, maybe, but not terrible. This section, flying out a little bit, seems to draw the eye in a way that might be potentially misleading.
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that.
The chevrons feel like they should be obvious, but again, you've desensitized the player to bright, saturated color against black, because you're literally using it for no clear reason for scenery here, so gotta be mindful of that. Taking a little chop out of this wall here and closing up the turn on this side would probably make it a little bit clearer and also generally more friendly. Remember that right angle turns are actually just hard because it doesn't match the way that your cart actually, you know, mechanically turns. So this down here is a gigantic clusterfuck of misleading and mismatched visual cues. I see a red stripe over there, red stripe up there, red stripe back there. Pink and black chevrons over here, egg rock hazard texture over here, off-road, road that doesn't clearly connect to anything. Where the fuck is what?
Yeah.
You make it down here. Another, not particularly friendly right angle turn because the same textures being used for inside and outside wall make it a little bit obnoxious to tell when your entry should actually be. Like right here from this angle, this kind of looks like a dead-end hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these...
Plus, like, the spikes here are kind of forcing you to go straight, like,
Yeah.
straight through them. instead of,
These don't
like-
really add anything other than screwing up your life if somebody places a trap or if a roaming Omega happens to bonk you slightly off your line and into hell.
It doesn't even have to be a mine. If you place a banana in
Yeah.
the middle of it, you're just gonna have to force to like
Yeah.
swerve around.
Another very tight right angle turn with not a lot of time to think. And then one more confusing drop where like people will absolutely die here because from a little bit further back it looks like the road connects. Or at least that it could plausibly connect. People will absolutely die out here. Then we drop in... I dig
I saw there were
this.
extras.
The opportunity to grab a red mini turbo the second time through.
Boing.
Not incredibly graceful, but I get the idea. Though the drop off is a little bit weird to read.
There's something I still want to try with that balloon when you get the chance.
Oh boy. Well, this one apparently isn't suited for net game testing, so have at.
Oh, okay.
What a
I just
shame.
wanted to see if this was even possible. So I'm gonna take advantage of rigging here. Oh right, I have rigged springs because of reasons. Don't worry about it.
Order.
I was trying to get on the horse in the carousel in Twinkle
Shut
Park.
up.
Let me write
This
on
is this is what we do when the stream's not on.
Okay.
I think I see what you're getting at here.
Yeah. Let me try to get in some speed.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Almost.
the angle you'd have to take that at is pretty exacting.
Yeah.
It is an interesting
wide.
place, though.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it like one more time, but
I'm the one who should be doing major skips for 2 hours.
oh.
ELJ.
Okay. I pretty much proved my point.
All right. So
As
that
tech,
was
that's actually cool.
So that was
Yeah.
Agonizing Tunnel from Vinny Vince. Thank you for your submission. And
Taking a picture of this
despite basically turn by turn destroying this, the changes you've made are improvements for sure. And I'd like to see you keep at it. Next up, from Plum.
Oops.
Recently made some minor changes to the track as well as placing spring panels on one of the ramps to aid with air mobility. The track also has an encore variant. Some of the acid falls may flicker. And when asked, ice cream or cake, Plum says, yes.
Yeah. That is the correct answer.
I respect it.
Correct answer.
Only one person gave the forbidden limp-wristed centrist answer.
Now, what about ice cream on cake?
Ice cream on cake
Creaming cake
can
cake.
be good.
Ice cream.
But what about ice cream
How about-
cake?
That is
How
a
about
limp
cake
wristed
flavored
answer.
ice cream?
Ice cream cake is the limp-wristed centrist answer. It is a worse version of both things, and you should feel bad.
I liked it. What do you mean?
I know you do, because you have poor taste. Next map.
Wow.
Ugh. I guess instead of order of games, I'm poor taste of games.
Oh man, I have raged over this thing in net games.
I don't like that opening. I don't like this opening.
Nice. Instant.
I mean,
death.
So, as
Okay,
I
look.
understand it, this is a port to some extent,
Yeah.
right?
it's the direct part, yeah.
Okay, it's a direct port. I will be judging it as if I have no idea this is a port. Because I don't give a fuck, personally. All I care about is whether the map is fun.
Okay,
Time to go beat up who made the original game. Somebody fucking... So this is insane. This as a starting point is absolutely insane. Let me introduce you to the fact that this map will have sudden right angles. With a sudden right angle, where the punishment for misreading is instant death, where half the time the single chevron signposting it is invisible. And you don't even have sight on the track until you've already committed to the line. Like, this wall. What the fuck? If this still needs to be here for, like, any actual reason, this shit needs to be like a window or like a chest-high wall or transparent or something, because sight on this turn is paramount. Nobody's gonna get it otherwise.
Yeah, and the red pipes to your left, I think, distract from the arrows as well.
For
From,
sure.
Like, the beginning
There's a
arrows.
lot. This is your first turn of the course, your first substantial turn at least, because you can totally go straight through here. So suddenly being presented with like 7 different cues that could potentially mean something, only to realize, oh, the actual track was somewhere I couldn't even see when I was lining up for here. It's very mean-spirited. You're given a little bit more time on this one. You'll see at least one cycle of the chevrons, but you're still basically launched here at light speed. And depending on when in the cycle you hit these chevrons, you might not have a whole lot of time. Honestly, I think these should probably, like... If these are gonna flash, they should probably flash like red and yellow, not red and transparent. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So we're adjusting slowly to the idea of right angle turns. Awkward bonk into a really volatile section there. I can't demonstrate this alone super easily, but I have experienced a lot of nonsense here when interacting with any other player, and basically anyway. Because the, oh, that is downward wind. Alright, so that's 2 sins.
Oh no, my speed!
But yeah, apart from it being a pretty rough trap spot, if you're even slightly misaligned here, the combination of speed panel and downward wind means that you're not given very much time to adjust your line. So fucking widening the scoop a little bit so that you're given at least some room for error is probably worth doing.
Also, please tell me you can't just jump down there from here.
I mean, there's no way, right? That'd be insane.
That's why I want to make sure that it is impossible. Cause
It'd be
it is.
patently nutso. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Fair enough.
Alright. So this is the dash panel. It doesn't read like one at all. I feel like you need some either time to teach that or a completely different floor texture.
I'm with Laz on that one. My eyes.
Yeah, it's all it's
Kodachrome, it's like Kodachrome Void, but worse.
basically any because Kodachrome is in the base game, everyone gets a free pass on all visual issues forever for the lifetime of the game. But this is still pretty crazy.
And Kodachrome's my favorite.
And the fact that it's a narrow tunnel where like you're being kind of visually bombarded while expecting, at least to some extent, to like maintain a clean single mini turbo for a fast exit. It's a little rough.
This room is incredible looking.
Yeah, let me take the set speed here. Let me be fair to it.
Whoa, that was a good turn.
Yeah, so if you outward drift the whole way, this is definitely a cool section, and it's one of the easier turns in the course, thank god. This is missing an arrow despite being right angle nonsense. Although, you have sight on the path here, but this is tight quarters, and this is likely where you're releasing your red from that turn.
So,
You can
so don't
basically-
jump. Don't jump just yet. Don't jump just yet. I want to go back to that turn. If you're making a thought, continue to make it. But like,
Go ahead.
well, in this section, like if you look back at the like little tubes, the test tubes in the back,
Mhm.
is that a visual glitch or is that intended? Like I see the.
Oh
sky
yeah,
texture
it's going through a sky texture.
Let's see the sky.
Is that no
I'm
GL?
99% sure that's a glitch.
All right.
Almost certainly GL shenanigans.
All right. Well, A, I'm chalking that one up on my bingo card. And B,
Eva Shark says,
I don't
I
know if
definitely
I'm
try to
okay with
jump into those sewer pipes to look for secrets. Well, as long as I don't get ambushed by an always sunny card.
look, it was one time.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely a
whatever.
GL thing. I'm looking at it on software here, and this room looks mad cool.
Okay. You know,
Alright.
You've seen this before, right?
This fucking turn.
I don't like.
This fucking turn. Every single time this map gets rolled on Jart, I get mad at this specific turn. Every
Yeah,
time.
because it looks like an opening, but then it's like...
Yeah.
A wall.
It looks like an opening. You're using the same chevrons that are partially invisible depending on where their cycle is at. It's an upward sloped turn. It's at a like 135 degree angle coming in.
Yeah.
Like, this layout, the ported layout, I won't give you too much grief on because like there's intent there, but there is a lot that could be done to retheme and redress this course so that at the very least you can see what the hell is going on when you're navigating twisting nonsense like this.
Yeah.
I also do want to point out that the red arrows are like the orange tubes are way brighter than the red arrows.
Yeah.
Your eye is going to be immediately drawn to them instead of.
So here's what's going on. You're at dash panel speed. You're interpreting what you're gonna get from your item set every single time. I have actually never seen anyone sight read this correctly every single time it comes up on Jart.
Yeah.
I would actually try and
This
substitute
turns
neon arrow
out-
textures in that area, like behind the grating. That would actually draw your eye.
Mm-hmm.
Lav's telling you stuff.
What you say?
Stop where? Based on what?
This is based on Crash Team Racing.
Before the ramp, to your right. Oh yeah, it's open. Let's go where?
Oh!
I mean, I don't think that's too egregious. It's silly, sure. But it's like, eh.
But
You
here's
could
the
put a
thing,
fence
though.
there. You could also not put a fence there.
Yeah. Also, this turn's kind of ass because it's like you ramp upwards immediately into right turn, immediately into another left turn.
These blind upward slopes are they're kind of.
Upward sloped right angle turns are literally the meme. It's like if you wanted to make a map that would actually kill me physically, like end my life, you could just make a map out of like this type of turn over and over again, and make it like 10 laps, and I'd be frothing at the mouth. Like literally oxygen deprivation from trying to scream too much.
Builder right now.
No way, even better. You do an upward slope, and then you don't know which way you're supposed to turn until
So-
you actually make it up.
Blind drop here. Let's take it at speed to be fair to it.
I will say though,
Okay,
throughout this
you're
entire
given
map-
plenty of time for that. That feels pretty fair. And this next sequence of turns feels pretty placid as well. You're given 2 whole slopes to adjust to this right angle turn, which feels like more than enough time to at least see the chevron cycle once or twice, plus this orange like pipe rail texture thing kind of draws you towards the right way. It's like, okay, clearly there's a wall here, but there's also some kind of wall that's still gonna go over here. So I think those last couple of turns are actually really well signposted, which leads me to question what the fuck is going on with the first half of the course. Like,
Such an awkward entry.
in general, the layout is pretty brutal to drive on hard speed, even when you're fairly familiar with it. Just because of the amount of close quarters. But the signposting is definitely the biggest issue. You have to be so aggressive with that turn. You literally have to commit to your line before you even have sight. You just have to memorize it.
Running off of pure memory.
As addressing what Tag said there, as the person who made the Crimson Core arrows, it does actually kind of surprise me how often people use them. Although I do take this as a compliment. But it's especially notable here that when the red part is off, there's a gold outline, and against a sort of camel colored background here, you definitely can't see the gold outline when they're off.
Yeah,
Not
they're
even a little
effectively
bit.
invisible in half the cycle, which is pretty rough.
I guess
This is
this
fun,
just means
though.
I need to put
It's a
more
fun drum.
animated arrows in future versions of Cart, so people have more to choose from.
Ah, fuck!
Again, I'll just say this. I know this is supposed to be like a direct port, so this may just be redundant, but this course still looks amazing though, visually.
Yeah, no, in terms of like
think
theming, it's pretty good, and even though like, I think once you have actually memorized it, what's here apart from like this weird set of opening turns is pretty fun in terms of just like, it's a relatively tight technical layout. I'm having a good time driving it solo. I have had a less enjoyable time driving this with other players clogging the track. It's pretty brutal. This in particular still doesn't really make any sense to me. The wall clipping here. But hey, Bump Spark let me through with a rainbow. So how about that shit? Yeah, it's like, if you're even slightly late, even if you know this turn is coming, you're gonna bonk. Like, ditch this whole damn wall and just slope the track up all the way? I don't know. I'm a dumb guy and I can think of at least 3 ways to make that better, so people who are actually, like, capable of mapping in any serious capacity probably can think of 300 that are all better than mine. Just know that it's there and that it probably merits a change.
Yeah, I wonder if that fence was added after the fact, because it's like they realized in testing that they were just freaking running off of it constantly.
I definitely feel like I have to brake on some of those, what the fuck was that? Some of those dash panel slopes to maintain control and, like, get a consistent line coming out. Woo! Almost.
You were so close to bonking.
Part of me wonders if the wind sectors for that, like, jump above the pit actually extend into the area before, and that's what was causing that before. If so, I would potentially remove those just because of that.
I happen to think that downward wind is just Satan in general, and that it really wouldn't be a violation of the spirit of the course to change that jump to something else if it meant you could remove the downward wind, so...
Yeah.
And the reason I'll harp on downward wind every single time, I should have put that on the bingo, is that it is invisible and it changes the way your cart handles, and there's almost zero way to, like, consistently signpost it. So, like, unless you're consistently using a sector effect or color map or texture every single time you use downward wind, and you have enough time to teach that to the player in non-critical situations, which is almost impossible on its own, you're basically screwing with their handling with no warning. So it's absolutely a last resort type deal. Definitely shouldn't be, like... Consider its use very carefully, IMO.
Interestingly enough, I actually just opened up the original Engine Labs, and that little fence is there, even though there isn't one on the side.
Huh.
Oh, sweet.
Faithful to a fault, then.
Yep.
But yeah, I think...
Issue in the original.
Once you've come to grips with the layout, it's enjoyable to drive solo, but the conveyance is real rough. Man, I gotta go back and play this in, like, the original CTR, so I can experience how fucking rage-inducing it is on fucking PS1 texture warp acid.
Another thing I will say about this course is that it's probably very easy to, like, trap a lot of areas.
Yes.
But yeah.
Like, specifically, like, the speed tunnel.
I just went crazy hard on this, but for what it's worth, the theming is great, the course is fun to play once you actually know the layout outside of the opening turns. I like this custom fucking banner, I didn't notice that until now.
It's our beat part.
And in general, hey, I have... My standard line is that anybody who gives a fuck about Crash Bandicoot in any form is like, you lived a different life than I did. But, like, I respect bringing that shit here. Alright. Next up for turn by turn, Azure Edge asks me to roast map 99 to a crisp.
Okay.
Toasty.
Alright. And
We're gonna have to look for an opening with that one.
when asked ice
Can't
cream or
roast them.
cake, response is cookie cake.
Based.
Respectable. It's... Because what cookie cake really is it's like, it's the cookie crowd making fun of cake on a conceptual level. Because there's absolutely nothing about it that is even remotely, like, cake-like in structure or taste. You just put icing on a cookie and then made it really big. That's the only difference, is that the cookie is large and you eat it in a weird shape.
I mean, that's still good.
was gonna say, are large cookies a bad thing?
No. Like, I get baited constantly by, like, the horrible bakery-style 3-pound fudge block cookies that make you feel like you just went through fucking 3 open heart surgeries afterwards.
I was gonna say, yeah, the ones that are just 2,000 calories per cookie. Yeah, absolutely.
The ones that are like immediate onset diabetes.
It's like they're one rung above the Cinnabon, and like how much self-respect are you allowed to have after consuming this?
Entire sugar and caloric intake for the entire day in one cookie.
Alright, Plum, flagging me down. Engine Labs is on Encore mode. I assume it'll be shown in the multiplayer session. I actually think if we do 2 plays a course for every course, I think we should probably make a habit of just doing Encore anyway. Just because it breaks everyone's muscle memory and forces them to, like, pay attention to conveyance issues. So,
I don't what do you think?
So let's see.
Actually, never mind. Thinking is pretty okay.
Map 99. So I've played this once or twice before.
Methane gas.
Can't. Before anything else, appreciate the music choice.
Bomberman. Hello, really loud bubble noise.
You know,
Maybe roll that off a little
I
bit.
He was serious
Ooh.
when he talked about submitting this.
I mean, I'm surprised, but I'm happily surprised though.
How much do those lift me? Okay, enough.
I heard the name and went, oh god, it's methane plumes, isn't it?
Of course it's gonna be methane. You expect?
Do you really? Did you really thought it was over? As they say.
Yep. Tail music.
Why did it say Bomberman?
Why did it say Bomberman?
It did say Bomberman.
Why are we being lied
Tail
to?
music.
Yeah, we're being lied to.
It used to be.
Okay,
Bomberman
so
music.
this
Yeah.
So
sequence
it's never
right
updated
here, this fucking shit, where this sequence exclusively exists to give people a relatively low-impact, friendly way of learning the fucking bubble lift mechanic. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about when I say, fucking damn it, introduce your course elements in low-stress situations first. God fucking damn it. It's literally that easy. Just put them in places where they don't kill people before you put them in places where they will kill people. Literally frothing mad that people don't do this.
You don't want to introduce somebody and then be like, Your Honor, League of Legends.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that this isn't the most up-to-date version of the map, because this is in a CCCP. And
Yeah.
It's 4 laps there instead of 5.
Are you sure that doesn't kill you? Are you sure?
Okay.
Also, straight from the man
Maybe.
himself, yes, the music depth is messed up.
Ah, I see.
I mean, to
I
the
can't
okay,
rep this, I'm sorry, Chrome.
to Chrome's credit, they do
Are you supposed to
introduce
take
it like
this?
fairly harmlessly at the start.
Yeah, because
Like,
you have
do
the
mandatory
big
section.
stupid. Yeah, you have the. I want to take a look at how badly you would have to fuck up the opening jump to get killed by it. Because they explicitly make sure that you're still rolling item sets, so even if you mash relatively early, there's pretty limited damage you can do, even if you're inside the pack right at that moment alone.
I will say, since you're here, my brain was too small to realize that that was a cut over there.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a cut.
Always
But,
has.
like, now that I look at it, I'm like, damn, that's clever.
You have to
But
be going pretty
I
slow to
could
get
never
to
pick up on it, and I played this map at least like 15 times.
Yeah,
I
it
like
only
it
just
because-
registered me like 2 weeks ago that was.
Alright.
It's the sort of thing where if you know what you're doing, you can take it like pretty well, but it also punishes the player in a way for taking it. So it's not an easy shortcut, and that's something that I really like about it.
Yeah, it's something that requires you to act. It feels a lot like Thodic. It's something that requires you to pay a lot of attention to your momentum going in before.
Nothing is free.
So, let's... When I keep saying fucking multiple sources of signposting, like chevrons, scenery element, sloped turn, band of off-road inside, unique scenery element designed to block view on the inside. So many different visual elements here that are all saying the turn is this way, jackass, because players are fundamentally stupid creatures, especially when moving quickly. And it's important to take into consideration. That's
Never
fun.
drove a car.
That's kind of invisible as you're coming up, though. It's not really obvious where the inside of this turn is until you've
The water
crested the
physics
slope.
kind of help it though, because ordinarily a gap like that would be a death sentence.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it still feels a little bit unnecessarily brutal.
Nice.
I can definitely see a lot of situations where you'd suffer here. So now you're introduced to this in a relatively safe environment where if you graze the edges of these, except for this one's pretty bad. You're like, it'll throw you off your line but won't disrupt you too badly, and you're given this kind of interesting cut here, where if you're coming into this with like red MT speed, then
Don't think you can do that with an empty speed, to be honest.
Yeah.
can
feel
you
like
not?
you need
I feel like because I've taken it with sneakers and spent less time on the. Oh yeah, no, I see. You've actually got to fucking thread the needle. Oh boy.
You can do it shoeless.
Or you got a snail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, I guess you do.
It's the
Yeah, see, I knew
snail
I
cut.
wasn't crazy. You have to actually
Yeah,
slow down so you
exactly.
spend more
You gotta
time
get
getting
a
lifted.
Trying to push you up. The thing that makes those the bubble patches so interesting as a level element is that they have potential to be used for good and for bad. They can really screw you up, but you can also use them to keep momentum and stuff for a little longer than you might normally. And
Yeah.
of course for shortcuts too.
Whee!
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, killing wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the process of building interesting interactions that are relatively simple and easy to understand elements is like where basically all good gimmick course design goes. You can do a lot of work with even something relatively simple. Like this is literally just, hey, lift me up if I'm above this element. And it's used in like 3 different ways in the first set of turns. It's like you don't need to go all out on your gimmicks to make something worthwhile. Although I actually have no idea how to make this cut consistent, which is probably for the best because it's kind of huge.
That's kind of small, actually.
Yeah. Turns have good clarity throughout. Look at how far out you are when you see the first signal for that turn. You're like at the apex of this turn when you start getting the visual information that allows you to plan for the next turn. God bless open layouts. All my homies hate full height walls. That's way too loud though, fuck that.
Ah, perfect.
I feel like the first updraft area doesn't really look like the other map.
Say again?
I feel like the very first area where you updraft in the gap at the very start doesn't really look like the other ones that are similar throughout the map. I feel like that could be a little bit better conveyed.
Maybe. Yeah, because it's
I see what you were trying to do there.
It doesn't.
There are no major skips.
It's a large zone there, and then every other instance of it is one of those small puddles. It read to me, but I can totally see how someone would miss it. Because like it's also similar scenery. It's not just like the because it's basically 500 of those that read as like one continuous unit. You don't really get the chance to see them alone, but I think they read clearly enough here, and fucking because elevation differences are so wacky from this perspective, they're also all marked with these little plants, which I deeply appreciate. And that Q isn't reused for anything else. It always means danger, asshole lift. It kind of feels like there's not a lot to do with boost items apart from that one turn, though. Like, you can kind of get a... No, you actually die if you try that.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's where most of my deaths come from.
That seems a little mean-spirited.
Yeah, it's
I feel like that
directly
could
in
be
the middle
moved a
of the
little
road.
back so people have the opportunity to course correct and slip tide away from it.
It covers the entire track.
Well, not the entire track, but like the entire middle of it, which is where most people will be driving.
Realizing that to end tonight's stream, I'm actually going to have to force quit OBS. I have a lot of really exciting troubleshooting in my future.
surprised OBS shit the bed that hard.
It's crazy. It's not like the program is slowing down. It's the interface actually stopped responding completely, and I don't understand why.
And yet
But I
still
bet it's
works.
gonna go away when I fucking take out that bingo card source by editing the fucking config. Ugh. But yeah,
So,
overall,
there's
like...
no way you can
Go ahead.
Sorry. There's no way you can open like Imgur links or anything, right? Like on stream right now.
Not on stream, though.
Oh. There was something I wanted to show off, but I
Unlucky.
guess.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hell, maybe this is an excuse to finally, like, get everybody into the jartcast server. Do a little bit of post-mortem somewhere that isn't completely broken. But yeah, Conveyance is clear, the gimmick is interesting, apart from this exact spot, which you already know about, you fucking asshole. Not really anything to report with regards to the course randomly killing you. This drop seems kinda blind, but is also completely non-lethal, and gives you sight really early the moment you drop down, with the starting area marked by whatever these fucking things are.
I kind of wonder if it's intentional.
I mean, you can totally, like, a non-lethal, non-threatening blind drop can totally be used for tension in a situation like this.
Like, it just makes me think back to the hills on the end of Sand Valley. There are a lot of clever spots for you to hide items.
Yeah, the, trap items might be a little crazy here, but it's end of lap, so the damage is fairly limited. Like, if you get egg boxed, you're still crossing the finish line. If you eat a fucking banana, you might still slide over. If you hit a mine, this entire area is low gravity, so go fuck yourself. Bonk. Deeply unsatisfying. Yeah, there we go. Getting closer. And if you take that anything but perfectly, it's like even at best, I get the feeling, so...
Did you catch how fast you were going when you took that?
How fast?
I don't know, I was asking you because I was looking at the speed counter for a minute.
Alright, well, let's see. Bubble noise.
I mean, it was basically at normal speed. Wasn't really...
It looked like that, but precise information might be interesting.
What was Tyrone's de facto speed?
Oh no. You can't do this! Yeah. I think at like 31.
31 seems like a good minimum.
Yeah. It's not bad. So you don't slow down to like literal snail speeds, but you also can't just go at normal top speed.
See, I don't generally like global low grav because it makes explosive hazards really crazy. And also kind of prolongs a lot of deaths. But the ability to cut on the outside of that turn and still make it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the ability to leave a banana there so whoever else tries it gets shit on.
The banana specifically for somebody who's in the fucking 12th dimension.
That's what you do.
Just nonsense.
Look, I'm the guy who'll have someone teach me a trap strat and then use it on them in the very next race.
Me versus Runa on fucking bananas. Where after I saw her fucking trap the little dish right at the end before the spring jumps, I have done it every single game on that map since.
And it works, right?
It's so strong, it's so fucked up. Alright, so... don't have a whole lot more to say about that. Anybody want to fight me on whether this is good or not?
I still enjoy it.
I like it.
The one,
I like it a lot.
The one thing I would say, and I know it was brought up briefly in chat, and I imagine it's probably intentional, that the signposting on the U-turns is much smaller than it is for the other turns in the map.
How small that is.
Yeah, very small baby chevron just to mark the apex, really, compared to like big-ass bold chevrons on the outside wall here.
I actually think that's kind of smart though, because
I personally don't have any issues with it, but it's something where I could definitely see somebody being like, yo, I don't vibe with that.
yeah, that's fair.
I think it works pretty well, honestly. Man, just look at this. Look at how much time you have to fucking adjust to like, hey, there's a turn up here. And then you take it too sharply and almost die. But thank you, based water physics.
My problem with the map is literally just the one section that you just passed. It's only because of the fact that, like, if you're boosting through those jets of water, you can land into the off-road really easily, and that can kind of screw up your race in some situations.
I also do want to point out, if you get knocked into that beginning section with, like, say, an Orby, it takes a really long time.
Yeah, because some of the slope out is off-road, I noticed, which seems a little mean-spirited.
Yeah, I wanted to show off this GIF on stream, but I guess I'll just post it in voice text to demonstrate what I mean, because I can't.
So you're already stuck there for a while if you get hit into the section, but then having to take the slow way out with off-road is way worse.
Oh yeah, that's an hell if I've ever seen.
From, the GIF that was just posted depicting someone basically getting hit from here and getting launched into this, and experiencing deep suffering as you now have to traverse this at low speed and graze the off-road and make it all the way back. I don't know how I'd address that personally, actually.
Oh, that is painfully slow in that GIF there.
Oh, I experienced something worse recently.
Kill plane or fence, really?
Granted, that was the only time in, like, all of my time playing on this map. That is, like, the only time it's ever happened to me, but...
Well, something similar has happened to me as well.
If it happens to you, Runa, you should make it happen to other people and win the race.
Can I link that?
Kill or be killed out there.
I would.
She is rude as
Cold and
possible.
unforgiving world.
I don't
Such is
care
the way
what
of
I
heart.
did. I won the race, and now I'm happy.
God.
That's gonna be Runa.
Alright.
Oh, you cannot Ava Shark. There's strong wind.
Tyrone,
Next
why is Applebot talking shit about me now?
Because you need to get good. Next question. Next up from Lido. Before Wolfs punches me in the nose from like across the country. Looking for feedback on layout readability and the rocks.
I think you should be good, Kim.
Oh no. The rocks? That has the same energy as like femur breaker.
Can you
Blue Mountain Space Program.
And what asked about ice cream versus cake? They're so good together. I'd choose cake only only if it is a moist cake. What's your alternative? You mean like a cake that was competently prepared?
Wait, are you saying that moist cakes are properly prepared?
No, like what? If your cake ain't moist, what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you need a middle ground because some cakes are too moist.
I mean, moist describes a specific state of moisture saturation.
Yeah.
A cake that's too moist is wet.
Exactly. What you're describing, Wolf,
Fair point.
that's a wet cake.
That's like if you threw a cake into the fucking water and tried to
Nah,
eat it.
just pour the box of fucking cake mix into your mouth dry.
This conversation is taking an interesting turn.
Critique stream, by the way.
I'm learning a lot about Shenji's mentality today.
Nah, it's like, go nuts, you know?
One of Shenji's favorite life hacks.
Endless mine, huh?
Oh, we are.
So, I hear this
my
started
goodness.
life as an attempt at a V2 backport. I don't know whether it's still like that.
It does. It's not off the
It's
top of
not.
my head.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is very different.
There's. It seems like there's a little bit of inspiration here and there, but no, this is an original layout.
This is kind of
This
neat.
is actually, I actually really appreciate the fact that it's an original layout.
Yes, as do I, because
Yeah.
I would really rather not have people try to recreate the minute details of V2 maps from GIFs.
Time to
What happens?
Works.
if you
Works.
box?
Works.
sick debug print.
Oh wait, right. I think you're supposed to hit the
Run
rocks.
into the
That's
rock?
my favorite album.
What happens when you get the works print and it doesn't work?
Well,
It doesn't work.
then programming happens to you.
That's why I always make my print something
Uh-oh.
stupid like
Oh yeah, okay, so For
Okay,
now,
right,
it's
that's
for
right.
now they're just being collision checked, and also that mysterious triangle there's pretty good.
It doesn't
Hey there,
work.
friend.
Oh
I love
no,
that.
the animation's broken.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
Looks like a bad tag.
Water machine broke.
Interesting.
I actually love this water slide.
This
Yeah.
is neat, but I feel like that
Yeah.
launch is mad far. If you don't have bump
It-
spark,
it
you're
is.
fucked every time.
Time to break.
It could definitely be pulled back.
This is also a little wacky, but that's a visual nitpick because you're never gonna fucking see it from that angle. Oh, okay. That... So what actually happened to me there? I think I read that as like a scenery element or something?
I read
It's
that
like-
as a flat wall, but it's actually curved.
Yeah. I read it as flat as well.
Yeah,
It
okay.
cuts off some of your time to turn.
Yeah, plus you don't have sight on the path here. You do have the chevrons, but like that's one out of a potential 700 ways you could be signposting. This one's a little easier. Downward slope into fairly gentle turn. And then these are...
Oh wait.
Okay, so those ones work.
So then the ones that you passed that said they work don't work.
Those were on the water slide, weren't they?
Are those a separate mob? Like, are those separate
Yeah.
objects entirely?
Yeah, at one point they were being carried by the water, right? Yeah, because these are...
Yeah, these are the ones that you don't collide with. They still make the print so the collision is happening, but the effect you're looking for isn't.
Clipping through them at speed?
It seems to be only some of them here.
Like you just going through them?
Yeah, he just went like dead through the middle.
Are the objects not big enough? The
I
collision
think
rather?
Chiron went too fast. I think he went to Vlad.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's what I'm thinking is happening.
That's what I was thinking at first, but then I saw him just go straight through the middle, so I can't really say that the hitbox is
Okay,
big
so I'm
enough.
softening that launch a little bit. If you store an MT, you can kind of redirect forward pretty soon. I still think it could probably be more lenient, especially if you're taking it at speed with a power item of basically any kind, but it's not as bad as I
Oh,
thought.
man. Don't wanna
I
imagine,
think it's
bro.
fine, personally.
Now I'm just running into those to check whether they work or not.
I love how they break into
That's
little
what works, though.
pieces.
You not believe?
Yeah, it's a nice
Yeah.
effect.
That's really cute. Yeah.
I actually, one of the things that I would like to compliment this map on is the fact that, like, you took what was essentially attempt at a V2 backport and turned it into something original. Go further with
Yeah.
that. Add some more scenery objects like stalagmites and stuff. Like, make this your own. Like, I like what I see here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the
there's
usage
no
of water is pretty
reason
cool,
there's no
too.
reason anything should get a fucking like just because something's being covered in official content doesn't mean anyone can't give it their own fucking try.
Exactly.
So why does the hit collision say something when you go off the ramp?
Mysteries. I have no idea what the works print is actually for, but I'm so tempted to open this up and look at the Lua.
Do it.
Are you
won't.
sure about that?
Never mind, you're right.
None.
Empty
I
banana?
don't think you're prepared for jartcast to turn into code criticism.
Next time on Jartcast, roll the dice.
No!
Yay!
Featuring Wolves, who I'd chain to my desk until he finishes the stream with me.
But I thought the next episode was the beach episode. We decided on this.
Oh yeah, we did the filler episode and the beach episode, and then we can start, then we're caught up with the anime.
Well,
could
I'm
be
sorry,
code
Judge,
critique
that's
on the
the one that gets removed from air, so...
What do you mean? We
I lost
didn't make
episode.
it through the tournament arc. How can you say we're done with the
The
end?
tournament arc. Hold on.
What's anime without tournament arcs?
Better usually.
Oh,
Still Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm sorry.
I know nothing about Yu Yu Hakusho other than 100% Toguro reaming me something fierce.
It's
gotta fix that.
a tournament arc.
The advent calendar was a bad time for me.
what about the smile?
Hey, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you got to play Fighting Masters after all.
Valgasu the fucking god. This is a course critique stream. So I have to turn hard in to even get like a blue out of that section. Yeah, that launch probably just extend the landing area a little bit. And this being mysteriously curved all of a sudden. I mean, it's upward sloped a little bit to begin with. You're not given a whole lot of time. Distance estimation here is really wacky.
Yeah, when you first pointed out the fact that it was a curved wall, I was like, which wall is curved? What are you talking about?
I think just bringing this out a little bit might be all it needs, but it's like this is a cool element, but it's also taking up a lot of space with regards to visibility. You see the path as you come in here, but your eye isn't really drawn to it. So like you have the chance to notice this is a spiral, but it's also completely missable given that you're transitioning from another like weird course element. So we have rock dodging here. Pretty lenient. This big ass banked turn is pretty cozy to fucking drift through. I feel like maybe you could introduce the rocks one turn early here, because it feels like this section of this section is pretty relaxed for a very, very long time. And then again, I'm thinking about when you're likely to have items rolled here. So in a populated net game, everyone will have items by here. So this is where the item chaos is going to happen for sure, from everyone who didn't mash. So this is probably the right time to introduce those after all. Although I might try it both ways. I don't know. Works.
Yeah.
A little braking here will save you from the rough launch, but wider area. Some way of actually signifying that this is a spiral. I want to be able to take it like a spiral too, but that last turn is like, you gotta be drifting outwards the whole way in order to take that in one continuous thing. I think conveyance and visuals are pretty good here. Like, apart from the spiral, everything really gives you plenty of time to get used to it. I love how this, like, despite the actual race area being pretty enclosed, things feel very open here, which is neat. You're given a lot of chances to see later sections of the course, instead of everything kind of existing in isolation. When courses actually feel like physical locations, I'm about that. Go ahead.
One of the things that really bothers me with a lot of course designs I've seen is there are a lot of courses that, you know, lean too heavily on long outward drift turns, and I feel like if you've got a turn like a big U-turn like this where you have to be outward the whole time, usually like a little longer, that one's not too offensive. It starts to feel really weird, like on your controls, to actually hit that turn, and you end up going, God damn it, why can't I just turn inwards like every other turn?
Yeah, it's a very unfamiliar feeling to basically be running from the inside wall of a turn. That's like fucking oversteer. It's not usually a problem implemented in kart maps. The classic example I bring up for this every time, I'm sorry MK, is Vanilla Rush Winds, which is just the ending turn starts so early and runs for so long that there's no way to avoid making an awkward choice about, well, I guess I blew mini turbo now, I suppose. But yeah, it's a very comfortable layout, and you can tell that from the fact that I've been able to sustain a conversation while just idly doing laps on it, and I haven't yelled at anything yet. I'm wondering how this is gonna flow in net games, honestly. Because that's like...
I'm excited.
The fucking waterfall is my big unanswered question. What the hell goes on when items are placed there?
That works print is my biggest mystery yet.
I mean, you know what you have to do.
I know, but...
Godspeed, Wolves. See you in an hour.
Do I want to? I mean, screw it, I'll do it. I have to know what the WAD is first, though, so time to
should be endless mind.wad. Pretty self-explanatory. Alright. And one more for the night before we launch into net game testing.
It's not prefixed. Okay. I thought it was prefixed for a minute, that's why. I'm just gonna take it out of my folder so it doesn't give me an out-of-memory error from opening it in Slate.
Oh no.
That shit's happened to me before.
Mysteries. So, Map XC from Barky was looking for feedback on the layout and any issues with having so many jumps. Interesting. Alignment looks better on OGL, thank god. Lift thing might be a bit jank. Visuals work in progress. Shrunk players can drive between springs. Don't expect this to be releasable or finished. And when asked, ice cream or cake, their answer was, why not ice cream cake? Because it's worse than both options! Anyway.
Ice cream cake, ice cream
I'm
cake.
sorry, Tyrone, but that's incorrect.
Metal heart.
Yo! Okay, mark that on your bingo cards. Yo!
Alright, hold on. I gotta
Look at the
fucking...
rocket.
I gotta unfuck my Windows setup really quickly here. Hold on. Where the
Look at that
fuck?
rocket out there. It's incredible.
Stream can't see shit because I'm a dumbass. Hold on.
Adventure example zone.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Oh my god! Big
Alright.
goofy smile on my face right now.
Alright, let's see it. Which fucking way? Okay. I guess straight.
Dude, the rocket looks so good. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I dig the scenery and theming right away, even as somebody who, like, gives no fucks about the adventure games in general.
Oh my god.
OGG
Yeah.
bro.
You're saying that on a Sonic stream. How you realize the people are gonna come after you?
My favorite 3D Sonic is Heroes, and you may resume ripping me apart.
Sonic's so.
Yo, I actually like how many jumps there are. This actually feels like Metal Harbor.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Really
the fuck?
does.
Hello?
This is
Yo!
something I really appreciate how much
Thick.
how much it has the Metal Harbor.
Alright,
energy.
so the screaming in
It's not-
chat should be indicative of something. You fucking win on the theming. The theming wins. That's a success pretty much completely unequivocally. I'm getting to grips with the layout, but it seems neat so far. I like...
I'm kind
if-
of curious.
No. Turn right, turn right, turn right. Shit, turn right.
Nice.
Fucking.
What the heck is that?
Good.
One thing I'm a little curious
That's a rocket.
on is I'm noting
The
that
rocket.
some of the jumps to the springs have
Is this
both,
traversable? Why?
they're both flat
This is-
springs as well as diagonal springs.
It's red or
That
red.
seems like a
There.
complete
Is that
recipe for chaos.
Is that intended for speed control? Is that what's going on there, or... So, like,
What do
if
you
you're
mean,
approaching with a
signage?
power item, you have an option?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
There's only one way to find out.
Where's
Yeah.
Big?
I was
I mean,
gonna say, where's the
absolutely.
Chowkey container?
If you're gonna fucking connect sections of the course like this, I absolutely agree with the decision to fully commit to it and connect basically every turn with a jump. I think as a concept, that's hype as shit. Although, this little strip
I
is
feel like-
much appreciated as a little bit of a break in the tension.
I feel like that turn you could ease into it a bit more. Maybe have it so it's not like as sharp of an angle, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little abrupt. Also, yeah, I definitely fucked up on the incoming here. I think... Because the way you're supposed to, you get the special start here, and then on subsequent laps you come in through that route. Can you just sink that whole fucking thing into the ocean? Until, like, first place has made it past a midpoint? So I don't even have to see
like
it?
that you could probably do.
Because if it's not visible, nobody has to get rused by it. The alternative is, like, just using a one-side fucking wall texture or something,
Yo.
but...
Are those pipes actually fucking slope downwards too? God damn!
Oh, they are.
Like to the sides. Like that's some attention to detail.
Sick
Yeah.
rail grind, by the way.
I'm kind of impressed with how much this is following the original course turn levels layout.
I wonder if I can do some funny jumps with these flat springs.
Aw,
you
I went over the item set. No, I don't like that. Is this a custom
Yeah.
texture, or...?
Most of this looks like custom texture work. So
Yeah,
like
for
at
sure.
least porting in the Metal Harbor textures.
So, the entry to this turn feels a
Alright,
little
I think
bit weird to
actually-
me.
There's actually a cut over here, like to the right. Like, do you see those lines on the road? Or on the off-road? Yeah.
Hey
I was
there.
wondering about this.
Yeah, I
Oh shit!
never in a million years would I have found this. Also, what the fuck is
okay.
this?
I
Oh,
see
that's
what
why
part
it
of the
was in
level
tower
that's
from the other
based.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
see
you
it
enter the
too.
lift from the other side. Alright. That's
Oh, I
pretty
was
neat,
seeing that
actually.
in the lift area.
Yeah, so you have the opportunity to discover that even if you miss the initial trigger by just wondering, hey, how the fuck do I get over there? Although it's closed off once from the perspective of somebody who's inside the lift, so it might not be obvious that it's traversable. Yeah,
And
I mean,
that's
that'll
the
happen.
trade-off.
That'll happen. All airtime that isn't Yellow Springs is artificial difficulty. You cannot change my mind. I am the Spectre of Kart Crew Discord.
Whatever you say, no.
So this landing here feels weird because you immediately have to bank a 90-degree turn and you have to realize that while you're in the air. So not only do you have no sparks, but you're now like... It's a weird feeling because the direction the course literally just yeeted you in is not the direction you actually want to be going. So it feels like an abrupt change in direction. Opening the section a little bit up might help, but...
Not even like, you don't even have to like open the section up. If that were just like a regular ramp, that would be a lot easier. If you could like drift store that a lot easier.
If you land like a little closer to here or something like that. Because it really does launch you like practically here.
When I see the aircraft carrier, I feel like the entire aircraft carrier is there, but you only actually have to drive on just a little bit of the very end of it.
But yeah, theming, I dig it. Visuals, obviously fucking gorgeous. I anticipate spring jank of a high caliber, but don't know if there's necessarily a way to mitigate that in a course that's like conceptually like this, and I'd say preserve the concept over fixing the jank, like preemptively, before I get mad in net games.
I think my favorite part of this entire map is the drawn rocket.
Yeah, it's good.
Time to use it in Encore.
Hey, we did it.
Okay,
So I guess somebody
that
could
might
pla-
not
be
be
some-
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, you
somebody
might wanna
could
address
plausibly
that.
fuck that up. I think you'd have to be... It almost has to be malicious, because you basically have to shoe in there. The lift is very aggressive otherwise, but...
I think the visuals he has in there are fine, but it just needs
It should probably
to-
collide.
Yeah,
In there.
it should collide from that side, which is definitely possible to do.
It's very easy, very straightforward.
Cool.
But
Honestly, all these turns are, like, really readable as well. I'm not sure there's a lot for me to complain about on the conveyance side.
I would actually, so you bringing that up, when you get to it, I want to point something out.
Okay.
So this turn right here, like this originally in SA2 was a lot more, okay, back.
Yeah, I'm just
So,
kind
like
of...
the area with the yellow caution tape, or orange rather. That area right there was actually raised a lot more like upwards to like arc the player a little bit, and so that they could read that turn. I feel like you could do the same, maybe raise the vertex sloping so that that not only appears beyond the slight downward slope into that turn.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like... Let me restart really quickly so I see what kind of sight you have on that from the apex of your bounce.
Nice.
Yep. You better believe it.
You gotta believe.
Yeah, so you had a little bit of sight on the edge of the turn there as you hit the apex of your jump. So I think as it is now, it's alright, but definitely for that particular turn, sloping up instead of down might look neat. And would also help with edge case conveyance stuff. I wonder how
I'm still
aggressively...
iffy on that last turn. I feel like the whole
Ooh.
deck there would benefit from being extended.
Yeah, it's... That area doesn't feel like it has enough room to actually carry out its concept. It feels like a shrunken down version of the break intention that it should be.
I just realized that for most of this I had my mic muted. Good for me.
Unlucky.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Don't worry about it.
Order.
I was saying so many different things about
Yeah.
the map and I was so
It's like-
excited about it and then fucking...
Like, there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of scenery here, there's, like, conceptually, like, alright, let's fucking hang out on an aircraft carrier or whatever for a bit. That's conceptually interesting and there's a lot of things you could do with it, but it feels like this section ends in one straightaway, or one really weird boost. Conditioning alternating between diagonal and straight upward springs. People are saying that bothers them. I don't understand why. I'd like to hear some thoughts on that, because people have, what, second or third person who said they don't like this alternation.
Yeah, I could see why it would bug someone. It feels kind of... I kind of, like, instinctively wonder what the straight up springs, like why the straight up springs are there if there's, like, diagonals. Wouldn't the diagonals just
for sick rail grinds, of course.
The other thing is also if you...
Oh no.
Oh, come
on. Alright, so this is a critical issue that needs fixing. That is fucking critical.
I want to bring attention to something that Seaside brought up, because that is actually something that is somewhat relevant. Is that in certain conditions you can soft lock on purely vertical springs, so...
Oh yeah, because if you explode, it nulls out your X and Y momentum.
Yeah, so if you want to have that committal track element, you would want to just use strictly diagonal springs just because of that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that seems like it's reason enough on its own, honestly.
God, I wish there was a Lua that allowed you to
something. I'm going to have to remember that later for Rev. Something. I'm assuming Soup Boulder's probably watching.
What? Also, my only other gripe is that you didn't include like a end section where like there was a huge rocket you had to fucking get up on
literally my only issue is you didn't use the Sonic Adventure Music Experience version of the music, but that's less of an issue and more, I want my Metal Harbor ska.
Oh no.
Where's Big?
Yeah, this is like a nice cozy introduction to the jumps. Layout ramps up intensity in intensity appropriately over time before finishing with something that is relatively relaxed. I think
Harbor is so, like, this whole thing is just accurate to the game, and I love it.
You know, like the scenery here is fantastic. If I get knocked under the plane, I'm sad boys. I'm like eternally sad boys. It's just, yep, sure does.
I can't see.
Like, there's a lot of off-road to be sad in. Is what I'm saying.
I want to see somebody just have the planes all take off on the first lap.
Oh, the huge sound.
That'd be a whole lot of...
Destroy your ears and run you over.
Yeah.
Would you like 800 quadrillion FOFs?
Yeah.
FPS 16 out of 35?
I mean,
only 16?
Yeah.
Alright, so... Is it time?
I mean, Mission Street already exists, go eat. So...
Well, you wouldn't necessarily need FOFs to do that. If it's a flying
Oh, we doing this now? Okay.
I think we are.
If you need a flying
Okay. Rigging off, all you fucking jokers.
But I'm Joker.
Shut. Sure? Oh yeah, we actually can't do this on net play.
Joker's trick.
Yeah, they told us not to do this on net play. I kind of want to do it anyway. Anyone agree?
I want to do it anyway.
No, we should probably respect the creators.
Oh no,
that's fair.
Yeah,
I don't even know the IP.
All right, so let's try this.
Hold on a second.
What's up?
I'll type it in text to voice. Don't say it out loud for obvious reasons.
Of course.
Oh, looking for the IP. Yeah.
Guys, the IP is 17. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you have everything already on, you'll need to. You might need to do some boosts to get around and download things, unless you already have it all downloaded.
The IP is 192.168.0.1. Everybody remember that.
Oh.
Alright, no, here. The real one is 107.161.31.144.
That's the IP for Watch
69.
Info Gear, isn't it?
Yep.
I fucking knew it. Oh, dead. So I just watched somebody fucking eat shit to a pit.
I should know. I locked myself out of my VPS for like 2 or 3 hours yesterday.
During a dist upgrade, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I actually...
Never host a server.
I nearly lost one of my fucking old boxes when trying to do a distro upgrade. I'm still afraid to do one on my current box.
Jesus, I cannot try.
I think it's just the turn anticipation here.
That was my banana.
Yeah, the turns are,
Oh yeah, this is meant for a game where you have like
I'm sorry, Wolves.
I'm like, should I always be braking, or should I be a little more careful here?
I might want to turn off that reset.
Oh no! Well, I fucking died. My race is basically just over. Ah, we still got a lap, maybe. This also has a lot of favors done for by Bump Spark, let's be real.
Fucking fuck!
Bump Spark makes a lot of this shit way more tolerable.
As you can see, I am not good at video games.
Neither. I don't believe you.
In my opinion, video games.
I disagree.
Very controversial take. How could you?
You dare say that while we're live?
Yeah.
Yeah, smiley face.
Dare bring light to my lair?
No, it's so old! What are you doing here?
Oh, we see the ice here? Oh man, I love this.
What happened to my spike ball, you coward?
Yeah, that is not a 7-speed 4-weight character course.
Yeah, hanging out at 8.5 right now, experiencing
Reset
life to its
off.
fullest.
Encore as well, by the way.
Yep,
Oh, yeah,
just,
we need to do
just a moment. I guess since OBS is broken, I can snap this window over here. You must be in a level D. Why? Fuck you.
Hello, it's me.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
hey,
nice.
this is neat.
Oh, the
Although
arrows are so
everything is
red.
Red and red.
Everything is red.
It's lava shelter.
It's lava.
Oh, it's lava shelter. What the fuck?
Now the red chevrons are even.
Hey, this is more
Oh, this is
tunnel.
dark. That's
Okay.
cool.
Those arrows. The color of the arrows should probably be changed for Encore.
Oh! Yep, everyone.
I honestly like the theming of the Encore a lot more.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna throw some voice text.
It honestly, this kind of vibe feels more appropriate for a track that's pretty brutally technical.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, it kind of visually looks like lava shelter.
Well, also considering Lava Shelter in its original game is an endgame level.
Yeah.
Not to say that game is very difficult to begin with, but
Mine placement. God damn it.
Unavoidable.
I didn't do that.
I like this dark tunnel better than the...
I don't believe you.
Yeah, it's definitely easier on the eyes.
Chiron.
I didn't do that.
that mine, though.
Before we do get into the next map, there's somebody who needs a little bit of assistance getting in the server, so we might want to wait on that.
Okay.
they're missing the things.
Yeah,
Yes.
they don't have HTTP
Yeah.
auth.
And I
Secret
got
sauce.
best verse for that for obvious
You need a special build. I linked the build earlier.
Oh, I don't think I was supposed to do that. I'll save a replay and show you later.
That's a hole.
Huh?
I thought that was a wall.
No!
That's a
There we
hole.
go.
That's a wall. That's
If I didn't have invincibility, I would have screwed
Huh?
myself over.
Oh no! No, I don't like that.
Alright, that
That's
one's
some
kind
wall
of
right
evil.
there.
That one's kind of evil because on the Encore here, the walls just blend together, so you have no idea that there's no wall on that section and there's
God
just
damn
a pit.
Yeah, that's exactly
I don't
what
know.
happened to me.
Though it is,
Okay, still made it.
it is kind of hard for people to get what I mean, considering my view's not on the stream to begin with. So
Huh.
You don't get to see.
I might have to link a replay of what just happened later because I'm not sure that's intentional. You can like drop onto the path below at the very last turn.
By the way, I just wanted to make it clear, I did not place those two mines.
Yes, you did. Stop lying.
I did not do that.
You did.
Alright, so it looks like Sire's got everybody covered with the join instructions. Maybe I should actually, or someone should pin that. But I figure while we're waiting, in the meantime, and since we got plenty of time tonight, everybody's now done 2 on that. Impressions?
No. I've played the map before, jartcast. Admittedly not a big fan of much of the CTR ports, but at least I can respect the fact that it is very faithful. The biggest impression, obviously, to me is the extremely limited width of some of the roads, basically guaranteeing that mine shots will almost always hit.
Well, yeah, I do remember there's a game where that wants you to cut the corners, at least it's in the original game, because of how much air control you have after you do something like a jump.
Compared to the no air control that you have here.
Yeah. Compared to the bounce pad only, hence why we're, you know.
This map does not translate well into this game.
Yeah, but you know, I can't really blame it for that if you're going to be that faithful. I mean, it does look nice and it is, you know, really accurate to the source material. It's just.
I actually feel like the map could be just a little sized up, just like a little bigger.
I was waiting for somebody to say, just mob scale it, because I kind of feel like that's actually, like, if you do want to keep the layout and visuals faithful, then that is pretty much the solution available to you, is to literally just mob scale it until it feels like there's enough space.
Takes like 5 seconds.
Like Mario Kart Wii would do with its retro tracks. Just tweak this.
Good point.
The size.
Yeah, just slap it on.
I will say though, there is one section in this map where there is a wall that has gaps in it that you can fall through and fall into a death pit on. That wall has the same texture as the wall outside of it, so there is no way to tell until you get too close and end up eating shit that there's no actual wall to block you from it.
You wanna hold on? If I do rigging on, you wanna just drive to that wall real quick?
Yeah, I'll show you what I mean.
All right, spec wolves then.
Yeah, I'm watching wolves here. You have rigging, by the way, so infinite sneakers.
Yeah, I don't have it bound.
You just hit item.
Hold on.
Item.
Okay, hold on. There we go. As you can see, I'm not good at video games.
The course is also pretty rough, too. I don't know what's going on with the inside wall there. I feel like no matter how close I am to actually feeling like I'm gonna bonk, I never do.
Hit my own banana.
And I appreciate that, but also it feels weird. It's like bouncy walls or something, right?
Yeah.
Is that bump spark also doing work? Because it doesn't feel like I'm ever colliding.
Yeah, it's not here. It's after this section. So...
It's super non-obvious that they have that property, so I got scared into releasing my drift a couple times.
I didn't run into it this time. Hold on.
Oh no.
I hope it's not before the jump, because that means I'm gonna have to start another round to get it.
You guys might want to expect me.
Wait, what happened to
Oh
Porter?
god, where the fuck are you?
Porter, get out of there.
So,
Yeah.
I want to make something clear right now. The windows are not solid.
I feel like you have to work pretty hard to get through there, but those should also probably be walls.
Yeah.
Because like, there's gonna be a situation in which a player bumps somebody, like they get exploded, and like, that's still a possibility.
Who left 50 billion mines here? Also, this is the spot I was talking about.
Okay.
Here. So, when you look from here, they have the same textures, right? So, when you're turning, that might not be immediately apparent.
Yeah, you might like try to wall bonk to course correct or something.
When you get too close, you start seeing these arches, and then it becomes obvious.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, looks like I'm shit out of luck. That was just me being trash.
Speaking of shit out of luck, I'm also in another location I'm probably not supposed to be.
Oh.
Yeah, I apologize, Seaside. My setup's a little screwed up right now.
I look up in the pipe, I think, I wonder if I can get up there, and Porter is already up there.
How did you get there?
I mean, again, with springs, but the thing is, there could be situations where you could get up here.
Oh god.
If you can get there with springs, then someone can definitely eat you up there.
You're thinking like me right now, Porter.
Yeah.
Alright, next up.
Wait, don't switch yet. I want to
Turn on
see.
core off, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm connecting right now.
Wait, did I pass it?
Walls, there's
I think
a
I
guy
passed
hiding
it.
stuff there.
Oh, I think I found the wall. I found the wall you're talking about.
Fuck, I have to do another lap.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright, are we good to go?
Hi.
I believe so.
I mean, I guess if you want me to just post my replay
Wait,
later.
or not.
Alright.
Put glass.
No. Wait. Yeah,
Okay, whatever, just go.
this
It's
is the right
fine.
one.
Sorry, there's a lot of people talking and I might miss people sometimes.
It's
No,
alright.
it's not your fault.
It's the people's fault.
I didn't want to keep you waiting anyway.
KRMMO cash shop ass music.
Oh no. Cash shot music.
Literally, this is like El Sword .8, the soundtrack. They all sound the same. It is fucking horrible.
The Korean MMO curse.
Rome's
Oh
lament.
shit. So I missed an item from that set.
Dang it, it's still the only Korean MMO for me.
What?
3 of us, huh?
Oh dear. I just realized what the fuck was up there.
I'm sorry, Trail.
I made the cut, but lost all my speed trying to prevent myself from falling off.
No.
Oh,
The opening item set seems pretty sparse. Just me?
I guess.
It kinda is.
How many is it? 12?
Well, now I'm dead. I'm dead and sad.
Get up there.
Hey!
That's 2 deaths so far to the big thing right around the corner.
Yeah.
Big air bubble.
That's pretty brutally positioned.
If you cut it a little wide, you can actually benefit from it.
Instinctively trying to horn again.
Is haste on this server?
Always have.
Or is haste on the current setup?
Yes. It's in the scoreboard, actually. Because I'm the smartest.
Oh yeah, Bump Spark is here, so naturally haste is.
Shit.
I don't even. Can haste even be turned off?
Yeah,
Well, yes.
pretty sure everything.
Once it was
Okay.
added to card MP, it included a toggle, same as all other card MP features,
I'm-
but
Pretty sure there are some features in card MP that can't be turned off at all.
only the bug fixes. Stuff
For
like
good reason.
your own Orbeez not working to shield your own Orbeez. Smiley face.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Alright, can I do the impossible? That was a
I slowed
little
down
bit
too much.
of an overcorrection.
God damn it. God damn it.
Well, I ate shit.
Don't worry, I did too. I was
I
right
did too.
behind you.
I did as well.
Like how everyone just agrees they ate shit.
I always
Yeah.
get so surprised when I see the higher numbers per second.
Very good.
I ate shit the hardest though.
Yeah, you can totally get there. Sick reverse route.
Contest.
Very good.
Well, that still works.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about that.
I knew it worked in the past version. I just wanted to see if it worked in here. I'm checking that off, by the way.
Bingo!
Oh shit.
Shit, now I have to actually make a new card.
Every bingo card is personalized.
Yeah, they're all personalized, don't worry about it. It said right there on the card.
Where's the Wario apparition? Where are you hiding him?
Be cake knives.
Oh shit, why do I not have auto excel on? Fucking out here holding the A button like a caveman.
You turned it off at the beginning of the
But
stream.
I like.
Yeah, but why didn't I turn it back on?
Yeah.
Because my brain's very small.
Well,
Literally sounds like I'm in the cash shop deciding how I want to get gouged.
Oh, what?
That's kind of
you
rough.
stole my item, Ibuki!
It's like, alright, I loaded up 30 bucks. Because I'm tired of losing in PvP. What do I do?
But that's when you've truly lost.
Yep.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Alarm Frog says, you gotta get the pet so you can auto-loot items. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit. Brief tangent. The only $10 I ever spent on Elsword was because of someone else's negligence.
What does that mean?
So, I used to commentate tournament matches and like the odd money match. And spectator setups in this game were pretty whack. Because basically, back the way it was when we did it, and it stayed this way for years and years and years, the best way to get a spectator into a game was to have two players capable of killing each other as quickly as possible, and then they just sit dead in the match while the actual two players who were playing did their match. And so that meant that, like, obviously your fucking equipment on all that shit comes into effect, which means you need some way of seeing mana, because that's important spectator information, and it doesn't come stock in the game, because of course it doesn't. It's on a cash shop item. And I had fucking dutifully traded for my mana site on my main character. But you can't use your main characters in this setup because you need like a level 10 character, the minimum level, so they have as little HP as possible so they can be killed quickly.
Something I would like to point out about the trek is that if you make that cut with the, with one of the jet streams and like it's onto the off-road section, you know the kind of talking about. The one just before the like big chrome U-turn, as I'm gonna call it.
Mm-hmm.
That one is actually really punishing if you make it up there but do not reach the next checkpoint. And it might just be the nature of V1, like.
Yeah.
The way it is.
It's just a pretty rough respawn in general.
Slowed down intentionally to hit me back there, didn't you?
Oh no! Like I was saying, because I can only tell this story when I'm sad, and I'm now sad. Everyone was on alt characters, and so obviously you had to get some mana sites set up for your alt characters to be used in spectator setups, and I'd done that, and my co-commentator hadn't, and it was 30 minutes until broadcast, and I just fucking gritted my teeth and bought him the fucking mana necklace, and I still hate myself for it, and everything about Elsword was bad.
I gotta carry the entire stream.
Anyway, this is a course critique stream. So, impressions on methane plumes.
But don't worry.
I'm a fan.
I like it.
My impressions have been set for like 6 months now.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I feel like the plumes,
Here's my question. If you are off, or if you are above anything that's not solid ground, should it still be low gravity, or should it be higher gravity so you fall down into the nothingness and just die quicker?
I feel like there's sort of a buffer where you can cut corners on the outside using low grav in cool ways.
At one point, and that's why I'm asking, because it might be worth it to keep the low gravity because the death plane is still kind of high, but I'm wondering if it would be better for it to be normal or higher gravity when there's
Can you do like kind of a buffer zone where it's like it's low gravity as long as you're a fucking certain distance from the
that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm actually a pretty big fan of the bubble plumes. I would like to see them used in ways where you can actually use them to your benefit more often. Whereas they're kind of just obstacles for most of the track. But I actually do like them, even that big one at the end.
Where there was at least that one shortcut that I've noticed that every single time I've seen someone try to take that shortcut where you use the plume to go up and boost over with some kind of boosting item, you always hit the wall because you go too fast and just hit the wall instead without actually ascending.
Yeah,
well, you're supposed to slow down for that one.
And I think that's like it's kind of neat that cut is sort of idiosyncratic, but it also does feel weird that there's basically no place to use sneakers in a traditional way on the whole course.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't really seen another good place to just at least use your boosting item.
Did Chrome leave already?
No, Chrome's in the chat.
No, Chrome's just in Twitch chat.
He's not joined the voice chat.
Yes, I see what he said about charging a rainbow effectively. I think y'all missing out on that last one. If you take that the right way, especially like go out and emerge to it rather than trying to cut the corner and getting thrown off, you can actually use that very effectively to charge a drift spark.
Vinny, yes, we did also do your map, and because you asked for no net game testing, I'm gonna leave it there. But when the VOD comes up, you are first in the order, so you've got some amount of critique waiting for you in that form. If you don't mind scrubbing through the VOD. All right, let's see.
Encore off as well.
Yeah, I was about to type Jard Encore off because my fucking right hand was one key too far to the left.
No, it's fate. It's meant to
I gotta make aliases now.
Jart commands.
Yard.
All right, next up, Lido's map.
Oh, I can't wait.
Endless Mine.
It works.
Everything's for work.
I can't wait to see worked spammed over and over again.
Alright, let's see how accurately they got this done.
I mean,
Well, it's actually not a backport layout.
Yeah, it's not one for one.
It started out as one, but then he turned it into a completely original layout.
Yeah.
A change for the better, for sure.
I sincerely, and I'd like to reiterate that I sincerely respect that. Make this sort of stuff your own, because it not only makes it stand apart from the official and upcoming content, but like, you can go places with that. Don't let that limit how you design the map either, you know?
Yeah, but then you have the awkward situation where now you have this map that shares the same name and theme and everything about the other map except layout. So at that point, wouldn't it just be better to just use a different theme or something in case?
I
like,
mean,
you
I
wanna
also
port the
I don't
2.0?
agree with letting official content lay claim to a theme, even if it is.
Like, if you already know it's going to be there, shouldn't you at least give it something, like maybe a color swap or something?
Yeah, I think there's definitely room
Especially,
to
again,
branch out.
if you plan on ever porting this to 2.0, it's going to be real awkward.
I think it's okay for there to be multiple takes on the same of a classic map.
I feel similarly.
I think in the sense that this is Endless Mine, it could definitely stay that way. But where things should change is how exactly the aesthetic is handled.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, what's here is frame rate dips. Anybody else?
No, I'm still solid 35, but I'm also in solid
35.
I went from typically I get above 400 to around 100, so maybe there's some kind of performance concern on the waterfall that happened.
I'm always having frame drops, so I can't give you a good answer.
I have the kind of hardware that should be giving me like 500 FPS, but I'm still playing in software.
But yeah, especially because it is like this is a port of a fucking Sonic 3 stage, and because it uses like textures either ripped from or inspired by that stage, it's really fucking hard for me to say it's hard for me to say like, this looks too much like the V2 version, you need to branch out. But if there's anything at all that gives you cause to feel like, hey, I wonder if it would be cool if I could do X or Y, then aggressively pursue that, because
I think the waterfalls are a good example of that.
Yeah.
Here.
Yes.
That's completely
Yeah.
true, and I really like the touch. I
The
like how it's
waterfalls,
cascade down, too.
the waterfalls were what helped me set this apart from the V2.
yeah, and the waterfall element
you
is
are
maybe
also
my favorite of
essentially
it.
doing the Sonic Mania thing, because like, you know, Sonic Mania takes the familiar stages and like adds new elements to that. Like, do stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
But first impressions, I do think this is a pretty enjoyable layout.
Me too.
Yeah,
That's
this is a
weird.
really good
Would you,
layout.
when someone else runs into the rock, you can. It's like a universal sound. You can hear it even when you're like very far away from it. from the rock.
I've noticed that.
I peeked into a little bit of the code, but I haven't quite finished yet.
Oh yeah, no, that's
After we're
definitely
done
not a
getting through
directional sound.
After we finish getting through these maps, I'll go and take a more detailed look at it. But from what I saw is, so those rocks run on a mob collide, and the very first line in the collide function is the print.
Alright.
So before it even returns whether or not they collide, it prints.
Seems legit.
So then I could say it worked even though it didn't.
Well, the hook works.
Something like that.
Oh, the Mobs Collide hook worked. It fired. That's exactly the kind of debug print I did basically everywhere in all of my scripts, except instead of works enthusiastically and with great joy, it was fuck.
Yeah, fuck is what I use for my prints as well. It's a good thing none of those made it into Dine Music.
We have
releases.
we have like inside loop, we have want die, all very common debugging phrases from me.
Hate it here.
No,
Hate it here.
recently I've started to get lazy as to actually naming those things. So now I just go fuck 1, fuck 2, fuck 3, so on
That's
and so forth.
also guilty of that. Oh no, I fucking drowned. No, not anime! No!
So whoever placed that deck of bananas actually fixed my drift and caused me to finish sooner. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. I stole those from someone who dropped them for my mine.
Yeah.
God.
Hey.
The banana.
So the problem with the sound is it's an S start sound call and it's set globally. There is no origin.
Yeah, nil origin. So it is actually playing for every player as if it's coming from your object, basically. Or it's not even playing as if it's coming from an object. It's just playing the
it's
sound.
literally just playing full volume, like music or HUD element sounds would.
We're all colliding with the rock in our hearts.
Hippies.
Did we check out the Encore variant of this?
This
Yeah,
is the
That was the Encore variant, yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Things that really work are the friends we made along the way.
Oh.
It's like I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
How dare you, Jack? How dare you not cherish the power of friendship?
I didn't even realize Jack was here. When did you get here?
We'll beat them!
And it's great
Power
because
of friendship!
this is the one stream where I don't have the fucking overlay up, so nobody knows who the ensemble cast is. It's just a bunch of yelling voices.
Yeah.
Allow him to interject. I should fucking punt you right now.
Go put them so we can get a new slice in
Oh
our bingo
yeah.
card.
No, you can't fish for the bingo. That doesn't count. That invalidates the bingo. I'm making the call. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
Card on
so-
corner.
so-
Here we
Off.
go.
Say this.
This is more like it.
To recap, that hook makes the print before it actually checks the conditions that
this
allow the
looks
rocks to be
cool.
destroyed.
Doesn't it?
I want that.
This is amazing.
Great.
I like this.
And,
The
and
engine
according to him, the
sound
visuals are
cascade,
still work
holy
in
shit.
progress.
Okay.
That like skybox is like really pleasant too.
It is.
And it's work in progress.
So
too,
whoever
so
made
it's like
whoever
better.
made this map, shoot me a DM and I'll send you the actual version of this song because my ears are kind of aching here.
Hmm?
No, send it to me and I'll send you the Sonic Adventure Music Experience version so you can put the Metal Harbor ska in here.
Oh god, somebody's trailing bananas inside the lift. I don't like that.
Oh no.
It's me.
I just can't believe there's a 1.09 port in here.
Hell. I'll even try to dig up the loop point for you if you want.
Oh, something I noticed is that speed ramp, like, set piece, actually basically means that you have like a 1 in 3 chance of missing a set.
Yeah, I
Because of
noticed
the way
that,
that,
but
like,
it
speed
yeeted
ramp
me
works.
directly over the set.
Strings with shrink.
Yeah, that's actually
Remind
listed as
me
a known
to-
issue.
Remind me to make a new Dine music feature. Map-specific victory themes.
Yeah, I never saw this one happen in a stream, but is it just me or do the floors, I'm on software, do the floors sometimes not intersect properly?
Yeah, the notes say the alignment is better on GL. Does anybody have any idea why that would happen?
Oh, Joe, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, OGL can mess with some alignment stuff.
Yeah, but it's correct on OGL and wrong in software, which is the first time I've heard of anyone complaining about that.
That is far from the first time I've heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
Sheriff, you remember the top-down hub, right?
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
the example I'm thinking of.
I designed that entirely in OpenGL and
And the
There was
really
so many
obvious,
rendering
the really obvious thing was the textures, like the floor textures you used. They had transparency in them, but you could only see it in OpenGL. So
No,
in
not
software,
anime
you could see it.
again!
Wait, what?
You are an anime.
Goodbye, Nia.
I ran into a
Defeated
dropped
by
jaws.
Okay, so
recover until you give in.
The last time we looked at this map, if you really
Can I,
wanted to have something like planes, you could probably get someone to like do caps of the actual 3D model and have those flying around. That way you can get all the different angles. Since it's a plane, it doesn't actually have to, you know, like animate. It can just spin around. If you
That would
really
actually be
want.
really cool.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
are reminding me of some really wacky things you can do with MD3 models.
Oh,
Do you mind if I? Well, it could be after this race. I want to point something out after.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do the breakdown afterwards.
Backwards guns.
I will say, this map can get pretty damn chaotic pretty
Oh
fast.
my-
It's like, everyone's either very spread out, or they're very close
Yeah,
together.
literally everyone being on the same section of turn is, like, comically fucking crowded.
Yeah.
It's like...
I'm gonna call that a player skill problem.
Oh no.
Yeah, well,
but
Literally
I
too
think
good at game.
Despite that,
Everyone here is
despite that,
pretty
it's still pretty fun.
My banana.
Yeah, I think the theming goes a long way here. It literally it puts a smile on your face. I dig.
It's really also not an offensive layout at all. It's very easy to get a grasp on.
Yeah, outside of like really
Outside
frequent
of the one
jumps,
turn
the
we
turns
all
are all very friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, this one onto the deck here is the only one that's like a little weird. That's mostly because you don't have that much room to adjust, so you gotta know it's coming.
Were those some soft item sets over on the turn there?
Goodbye, Tyrone.
If so, I respect it.
Brain don't good for a second, I guess.
Yeah,
Whenever
I
this
was
is done.
about to say, it seemed way too easy to accidentally take the wrong turn, even with those.
Yeah,
arrows.
it's like I'll accept that was smooth brain, but considering we're on the encore layout right now,
Oh,
I
no,
let muscle
I
memory
grabbed the
take
rebel.
over, and that's just what happened to me. So I really doubt I'm the only person who's gonna do this.
Yeah, it just happens like that.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. You could make a side depth that's just one side, and the side that's visible is the one you start facing at the start of the map.
Free me!
That way you still
You're
get, like,
fucking
a visible
kidding.
wall when you go. And that, I'm not future that.
All right.
Don't worry. I
For a
changed the last
second, I
turn.
thought you no contested again. I was like,
You came really close.
you were really close, yeah.
All right,
I
so
was
we're gonna
like,
let this
well, I'm
rock
still
again.
alive.
I'll card encore off. So Runa, you had something you wanted to point out?
Yeah. It's just something like really quick. It'll take like
All right.
a second.
Rigging is on. Go ahead to get to where you need to be.
Actually, probably don't even need rigging. It's right at the beginning. But
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess.
so Okay. Oh.
No.
Let's not
But,
make the server
yeah.
explode so soon while she's trying to point something out.
So real quick, while I was approaching on like the last lap, I actually for a split second thought this was the finish line instead of the actual finish line. Just kind of like over
Yeah.
here. You have to kind of like make your way over there, and it kind of feels a little awkward. I
Plus,
guess.
I don't know how many of you watched me blow a two-turn front run by literally just turning left here
Oh no.
and just driving off the
I-
edge.
Yeah, I think in terms of the direction, like, it's kind of the arrow makes it pretty clear that you got to go right. But what would help is if you raised a wall here, like a curved wall that just blocked off this whole starting area, since there's no reason to ever go back here.
Don't touch me.
I think that would go a long way in communicating the turn properly.
Yeah, it's like it shouldn't be reachable if you're never supposed to be there. That's just like standard safety features.
That was about all I wanted to point out.
All
I
right.
found downward wind. I found downward wind. Uh-oh.
Oh no. Tool fucking dies.
So actually,
Yay.
okay, that's good. I was. Wait. Oh, so that isn't blocked off. Okay, so there's an invisible wall on one side, but.
All right. So
My next question is, do we really need a palate cleanser after this?
No. I think
Nah.
right now we're pretty good. So the
yeah,
power
we have to
yeah,
reserve the palette cleanser for the dark times.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
see, this is pretty good.
Yeah, this is really good.
All right. Well,
And totally not saying that because Adventure 2 bias.
Adventure 1 is better, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I
You're
will
wrong.
I will disagree with you every day.
Hey, you're welcome to that opinion, my man.
Adventure 1 has worse game styles, but Adventure 2 does the game styles that Adventure 1 did well worse.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
Oh god, we're getting here. Okay, so
I think we need to call it. It's gonna get here.
so I have bad news because OBS has been soft crashed for this entire time. I actually cannot end the stream by doing anything other than closing it from Task Manager.
So we don't get to see the Lexus fly off the track.
Imagine if you had just stayed there. You said, "I actually cannot end the stream," and said nothing else.
So I'm signing off the only way I know how. With my heart will go on recorder. Gentlemen, it's been a fucking pleasure.
No, it hasn't. Don't worry.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Next time on
Goodbye.
Jartcast, episode 10, the beach episode. Maybe.
Yeah.
Does it have a beach episode, or am I tripping?